Oh, my friends, it's time to return to Greenvale. You know, even though Deadly Premonition came out 8 years ago, it's still a pretty unique game. I've never really played anything quite like it. Though what we're playing now is not the original release, but rather the director's cut, which came out 3 years after the original. The director's cut adds some additional content, some additional cutscenes, some changes some things around, and we're going to check it out. We're going to play through this whole thing and see what the new stuff was. And first, we're going to watch the opening cutscene, of course.
Oh. Oh. Yep. Yeah.
It's dangerous to run around here, boys.
Grandpa, hurry! Hurry up! Grandpa, you're too slow!
Night and day, misty rain, hide and seek, you and I, kissing rain, hide and seek. Beyond the sense of love and declaration, we were always wondering. Beyond the time of darkness, feeling we so long. Feeling alone, the past night, oh, we were always searching. Beyond the time of darkness, feeling we so long. Someone called me blasting green bay. Everyone needs a someone called me blasting green bay. Everyone needs
Yeah.
So many people crying for their own different reasons, but here's one reason why I might be crying. The director's cut for the PS3, which is what we're playing, has move controls, and I am going to try to use them. Let me calibrate the controls. Nope, there's a problem. That is a good start. That is a fun start. There we go. Alright, so we're playing the PS3 version. This was also released on the PC. But the reason we're playing the PS3 version is so I can try out the motion controls. Adding move controls to games some years ago was kind of a big thing, and even though the director's cut came out sort of on the tail end of the move being used in games, they did add support for it, just, you know, to give something extra to the PS3 version, I guess. I'm not going to say it works well. I have tried it out. We'll see how it goes. For right now, let's talk about the game itself. So, I did a Let's Play of the original version of this 8 years ago, and that one was in depth. That one tried to do everything that was possible to do in the game, 100%ing all the side quests and such. And This playthrough is not going to be like that, because most of the game should be not very different. There are some differences in terms of cutscenes and such, but most of the game is probably not going to be very different. So I don't think this is going to be a 100% play. Also, I'm going to play this assuming that the people watching already know how the game turns out, because I figure most of you do. If you haven't seen Deadly Premonition before and you want everything to be a mystery, I would suggest watching that original Let's Play instead, because that one assumes that the watcher has not actually played the game and doesn't know the answer to the mystery. This one, I'm going to assume you already have seen this before. That's how I'm going into it, so just so you know that. Alright, so before we get started in this, another thing to take a look at is the DLC. It says that in the lower right-hand corner, it says Add-on Setup. This game did have some DLC in the form of some suits and such. We're going to take a look at them. There's House, which nothing appears on the screen here, but we can... Okay, so when I bought this DLC, the way it's described as, it's you're buying a house in Greenvale. So there will be a house somewhere in the town that we can go into... And it's our house, I guess. It doesn't seem to do much, but it's there. There's also York's suit. So there's Happy Songkran, which has an effect. You get ×3 money. Special Ops increases hit points, attack and cash ×2. Hunger and Tiredness are reduced ×2, so that sounds very good. The High Roller, money rewards ×3, and it seems really ugly. The Espresso suit, which seems stylish. Tolerance to Hunger and Tiredness ×3. So there are some special suits. You might notice that also the Workaholic is here, which is not a DLC suit. That is from the original game. And that's because the way DLC is implemented in this game is kind of odd. The way it works is you choose one of these suits and it replaces the Workaholic suit in York's briefcase. So they weren't able to just add all of the suits to the briefcase. Rather, the way it works is the one you choose replaces this. I guess because of the way the game was programmed, they weren't able to just add all the suits. They had to just say, okay, we will replace one of the suits with the one that you pick on the main menu, is the only thing I can think of. It's kind of odd, but we'll start off with Happy Songkran. Songkran, I believe, is the New Year's celebration in Thailand, I believe. And this suit is named after it. We will go with that. You can see it is very loud, very red and white. It's very attention-getting. There's also Car, Chibi Chibi Bang Bang, which has an anime design. Kind of looks like an anime version of Emily on it. There's the Green Drifter. This one's able to drift. The Blue GT has enhanced handling, and the Devil's Red increases max speed and faster acceleration. We'll start off with Chibi Chibi Bang Bang. Has no effect, but it's a nice-looking skin. There's also Emily. She has a couple suits. They replace her normal police outfit. There's Friday Night outfit, and there's Catgirl. She only has the two, and not really a whole lot of options here. I kind of hoped that they would put in the spy fiction suits, since those did appear in D4. I was hoping Emily and York would get spy fiction suits, but that was not the case. That was not available. These are the only things we have available for Emily. So I guess we'll start off with Catgirl, and we'll switch to Friday Night at some point. All right. Anything in the options? I don't think there's anything we really need to look at. This is all standard. The only thing new, I believe, is Calibrate Motion Controller. Anything under sound? That's just that's normal. Nothing new in there. Camera setting, invert, crosshair. Yeah, nothing we need to look at here. There's also Cruel Production, which was changing the blood color. We will, of course, we want our Deadly Premonition to be as cruel as possible, so we're gonna leave it on. Of course we are. Oh, saving actually kind of takes a while. I probably shouldn't have done that. So this is gonna happen every time we save our game. That seems like it takes longer than it should. I don't know. Alright. Anyway, let's start the new game. Let's get going with our playthrough of Deadly Premonition, the Director's Cut.
I want to hear another story.
Yes, of course. You've been waiting a long time for this, so how about a special one? This story is very strange and very nasty, but somewhat nostalgic. Do you think you can be a good girl and listen all the way to the end?
Is it a scary story?
It might be, but it's also a very important story. If you don't want to hear it, I can tell you a different story.
No, I want to hear it. This way, I won't be scared.
Will you turn on the TV then? Leave the sound down like always. Now, listen. This is important. At times, we must purge things from this world because they should not exist. Even if it means losing someone that you love.
We begin the game with things starting a little bit different from the original. There's a framing device in the director's cut where an old man is telling a young girl a story about something that happened. And that story is Deadly Premonition, the events of the game. So, I don't actually know what happens in those cutscenes. I've only seen the first couple of them. So, basically the idea of this playthrough is I'm going to be seeing these cutscenes for the first time, just giving my thoughts on those. Just revisiting how this game plays 8 years on, just seeing if my opinion of it has changed at all, and just thinking about how Swery's career has gone since the release of this game. So that's basically what the idea of this gameplay is going to be about. For right now, let us start moving and let us experience the frame rate. The frame rate in the director's cut is not very good. Let's just get that out of the way right now. Oh yeah, it's not all this bad. It's been a while since I played the 360 version. I'm pretty sure it was better than this. Pretty sure about that.
Could you wait just a little longer?
This won't take long.
Well, we're not gonna wait. We're just gonna talk forever if we do. Okay, so of course we have to walk around the room, but first thing we should notice is that the camera is pulled further back. We can rotate the camera around York. He's not real close up to the camera like he was in the original game, so we can see more around him. With the move controls, we can get a better look up. I don't know if that chandelier was that visible in the original one, but the move controls do let me see a bit more around us. I'm using the move as a replacement for the right analog stick, by the way, which not that great. It works okay, I suppose. It's not the best. Alright, yeah, I can get a close-up here and have a look. As always, clocks do not work that way. The text speed has increased. The original game, it was very slow, then you would press a button to speed it up. Here, the default text speed is much faster than the original. Here are strange figurines of, who knows who this is? It's a mysterious man, all over the United States. Washington State. Of course, the setting of our game. We could try to go through here, but it's not going to work. Oh no, York. We have more to do. I guess technically we don't know that this is York yet, but we could find out by taking this card. Yep, we got us. We got our own trading card. We could take a look at the inventory, and oddly enough, the inventory runs at a smooth 60 frames a second. 360 version didn't do that, but the 360 version also ran at a better frame rate in the gameplay. That's something that I think we'll find with the director's cut. That performance is inconsistent. So here are the trading cards. In the original Let's Play, I refrained from looking at this one until the end of the game, I think, because it says here that York is the main character and that he has a dual personality named Zack, which I thought was an odd thing to say right off the bat. I thought it was better when we didn't really know what this Zack was that he keeps talking to. But the card will tell you.
Sorry to keep you waiting. It will start soon.
It's about time to get started.
Zack. Zack, can you hear me? It's me, York.
If you can hear my voice, could you respond?
Well, we could hear his voice and not respond. That's also an option. Also, I really like this music track, York and Zach.
What's the matter? Zach, can you hear me?
Even though Life is Beautiful is the track that everyone remembers.
Say something. Zach.
This music track I really enjoy. Okay, we'll answer him.
Good. I thought you went to sleep. Zach, don't be surprised. The crime took place out in the country this time. Let's take it slow. Okay, Zach?
Taking it slow is what Deadly Premonition is all about. We're not in a rush to go anywhere. Well, York was in a rush to get somewhere here. And that was kind of a problem.
Sure, that's one way of looking at it, but it's totally wrong. Listen, they both need each other. It's called interdependency, and they both know it. Yeah, I know. He does terrible things to Tom. Nasty, even sadistic things. But that's fine, as long as that's what Tom wants. Think about it. His actions. He's always asking for it. It's his partner's job to fulfill that need, and Jerry knows that. Proof? Well, in the Tom and Jerry show, they live with each other. Hello? Hello?
Zach, I can't believe the Bureau still can't get me a satellite phone.
These puppies are making me go to another town in the boondocks again.
Well, I'll be a happy camper, even if it ends up being a waste of time. At the very least, it'll get me out of the cramped city for a while. Right, Zach? The perpetrator from the last case really was something. Who'd have thought there'd be razors laced into her nails? Crazy. Just crazy. Well, at least I now have a scar to show off. See this? I got this when I arrested the Catwoman wannabe. Women, they're crazy. Don't you agree, Zach? Zach, there goes the civilized world.
Still one of the best character introductions ever. Driving while talking on a phone, while working on a laptop with his free hand, while smoking, while discussing the psychology of Tom and Jerry. He really does establish his character right away. And it's a good thing because a lot of this game is basically carried by York being an interesting character. Like if this game went for the blank slate kind of character, it wouldn't be nearly as good. Okay, let's take a look at these move controls. Now, if you think about the controls in Deadly Premonition being inspired mostly by Resident Evil 4, you can probably think of the controls for the move as being inspired by Resident Evil 4 for the Wii. However, while RE4 Wii's controls were really good, this game, the director's cut, not so good. So, okay, so, if you've played the Wii RE4, this might look familiar. We have like a crosshair on the screen, and then we can move the move control to aim. Somehow it doesn't work nearly as good as RE4, though. Also, the main reason that I'm playing the PS3 version is because the move controls are kind of janky. They don't seem quite right. Like, you can look up higher than you're supposed to, really, and then you can also look down lower than you're supposed to, and it doesn't really seem like you're meant to do that. It also really doesn't restrict how fast or slow you move, so you can do this. Which you cannot do on any other version of the game. I don't know how much mileage I'm going to get out of that, but I figure that if there was any chance that this game has some glitches in it, it's probably through using the move controls. Here's something that's annoying, though. How do you use a melee weapon? Let's swing the move. You remember that era of Wii games where you would attack by swinging the controller like you were swinging a weapon? And it didn't map your movements to the controller at all. It was just, the character in the game is swinging something. You should be swinging the controller as well. So this game does that. Swing the move. Oh, hold on, I have to press the trigger and swing the move. There we go. And it's funny because I've become used to using the move for PSVR games, in which the, oh, hold on. Alright, time for our first premonition.
Looks like we're being welcomed. Zach, I'll let you handle the meet and greet.
It's an echo to York's voice there. I think it might have been in the original version as well, but it seems like it's more pronounced there. Right, I was saying that I'm used to using the moves in PSVR, which works very well in terms of, well, usually works very well in terms of one-to-one mapping, so it's kind of weird going back to a game like this where the move controls really aren't one-to-one at all. Also, I kind of broke that cutscene right there by using the move to move the camera around the rock so you could see that nothing was attacking the dog. That's not how it's supposed to look. Right, so you can make the camera do things with the move that it's really not supposed to do. Also, you might remember in the original game, the camera zoomed out here to a fixed perspective. And it doesn't do that here because I guess people didn't like when the camera did that in that game. So they removed all instances of the camera going into a fixed position in the director's cut, I believe. Oh, there is a friendly townsperson. And they're gone. How frightening. That thump was a little bit late. Sometimes I kind of forget that Deadly Premonition is technically a horror game. Technically, it is a horror game. I tend to think of it as a dark comedy, though. right, it's time for our combat tutorial. And we're facing the wrong direction for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, equip weapon and draw it with L1. Aim with the move. Lock on with the move button. And that's it. One shot. So, they reduced the hit points of the enemies by a lot in this version of the game. Let me try manual aiming. So, at the beginning of the game, when we started a new game, there was no difficulty select. In the original version, there was easy, medium, and hard. That doesn't exist in this version. It's actually easier than the easy difficulty in the original. I believe that when you played this game on easy in the original, the enemies took more shots than they do in the director's cut. So there was a lot of criticism about the combat system in this game, and it appears that their solution to that was make the enemies incredibly weak in the director's cut. So you just can take anything out with like one headshot. I'm kind of curious to see how nerfed the wall ladies are. You remember the wall ladies? We all remember the wall ladies. They're probably a lot weaker now. And we don't need to profile again right now, I think.
I've been through a lot of crazy situations, but that one takes the cake.
It's the first time I've been attacked so directly. Zach, can you give me a logical explanation about what that was? Never mind, don't answer. Life is fun because of the mysteries. Right, Zach?
And of course, York is completely unimpressed by that whole thing. What was that? Don't tell me, Zach. It's fun to not know what the killer monsters are all about. We don't need to know about that. Let's call into the FBI headquarters and let them know. We're currently being attacked by mysterious shadows. They're sort of limboing zombies. They want to shove their hands in my mouth. And that's basically what the situation is. Oh, I crashed my car because I was doing too many things at once while driving. That's basically what's happening. But we've arrived at our destination, so that's good. So we're going to be continuing on with Deadly Premonition, the director's cut. I hope you join me for this revisit of one of my favorite games ever, and just an extremely unique, very heartfelt game, if I would describe this as being. We're going to continue on with this next time.